Every year, players throughout the NFL reach a crossroads in their careers and can single-handedly make or break the success of their team's season. Here is one make-or-break player for every NFL team for the 2025 season. My name is Mitchell Renz. You're watching the Raiders Report. I want you to go down in the comments section, predict it. Who is the player PFF is talking about for the Las Vegas Raiders? Because coming up here on today's show, I'm going to be breaking down who PFF thinks that make-or-break player is for Pete Carroll's squad. According to PFF, Malcolm Koonce is the Raiders' make-or-break player for the 2025 NFL season. So coming up here on today's show, I'm going to tell you why Koonce was picked by PFF. We'll kind of go through some of the ins and outs of why I agree with that statement. And then at the very end of today's show, I'm going to give you my list of the top 5 make-or-break players for the Las Vegas Raiders. Before we break all of this down, I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Panda Sups. My guy Murbad owns this company. He's a diehard Raiders fan. And if you want to take advantage of the deal we got going on right now, use code Raiders. I think you know how to spell it. 20% off, pandasups.com. And if you spend over $125, you're going to get free creatine and you're going to get free shipping for U.S. domestic shipping. That link's available to y'all down in the comments and in the description of today's show. So let's talk here about why Malcolm Koonce was picked by PFF to be that make-or-break player. But I really want you to look at this quote because when I first heard make-or-break player, I thought, oh, it's a make-or-break season for Malcolm. Not exactly. This is a make-or-break player for the Las Vegas Raiders. So the Raiders have long been looking for an effective pass rush partner for Maxx Crosby. Down the stretch of the 2023 season, it looked like they may have found that player in Malcolm Koonce. From weeks 10 through 18, he earned an outstanding 84.9 PFF pass rush grade. Unfortunately, he didn't play a single snap in 2024 due to injury, but he signed a new one-year contract with the hope of regaining that level of play in 2025. If he does, the Raiders could have a potentially lethal pass rush. I'll be honest with you. I do think that Malcolm is a player that is very critical for the success for this new regime, not only this year, but for the long haul. And I know he's got that one-year prove-it deal, but I think every Raiders fan can sit up here and say, if he's healthy and we get that version of Malcolm that we had over the final 9 weeks with Antonio Pierce, with Tom Telesco, I think that we could really get, honestly, a very successful football team. I'll admit, though, I don't think that he's number one, but I do agree with PFF that he does have some importance. And I should mention, I meant to say with Patrick Graham and Antonio Pierce, the final 9 games of 2023. My goal when I started today's show is I was like, you know what? Let's do it for Malcolm. Somebody who was a little bit of a softer spoken player, but I think we all have that respect because he was kind of put to the wayside with Josh McDaniels, with Dave Ziegler, and then he got an opportunity. When he got out there, he took advantage of it. And I don't care if you're a professional football player. I don't care what you do in your daily, everyday life. When you get an opportunity and you crush it, I'm always going to tip my cap to that. So my goal today, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Do it for Malcolm Koonce. So coming up here, if you look at that PFF quote, they talk about a crossroads. So I'm going to tell you what I think that crossroads is for Malcolm, and then I'm going to tell you why I could consider him that make-or-break player for the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's first talk about that crossroad, because in 2023, he had a good year. And when you when you looked at a lot of the reports coming out this offseason, a lot of people had Malcolm getting $20 million per year. I know PFF did. He ended up signing a one-year prove-it deal for $12 million, and it's because he had that ACL tear, which happened right at the end of August, and it was a huge, honestly, kick in the nuts, I think, for Malcolm and for all of Raiders fans out there. But what's interesting is, think about how you value Malcolm, and think about him when you're like, all right, Maxx Crosby is the Michael Jordan. On that defensive line, you're going to look at Malcolm Koonce as being that Scottie Pippen, as being that Dennis Rodman. But what's crazy is he's played in 39 games, only 11 starts, and a player that we value so much, yet he's played only 617 snaps in his career. The reason why I could see him being this make-or-break player for the season is because if he plays the way that he did over the final stretch there of those 8 games, 9 games that he had with AP, Rob Leonard, and Patrick Graham, you could sit up here and go that I honestly think that Maxx Crosby and Malcolm Koonce could be regarded as one of the top 2 edge rush duos in the National Football League. And If you can take care of business against Kansas City, you're a Super Bowl caliber team. Look at the 2019 Tampa Bay Buccaneers led by John Spytek. What did they do? They got after the quarterback. They flustered Mahomes. Look at what the Philadelphia Eagles did this past season. They got after the quarterback. They flustered Mahomes. When Malcolm Koonce is healthy, and he's like one of these like silent leaders that's just going to go out there and he's going to do his business. And when you got players like a Maxx Crosby, a Malcolm Koonce, and you have all these guys that are doing exactly what you want on and off the field, it helps the Raiders not only in 2025, but it helps you build for the future because that's what we're trying to do. It's not a 2 to 3 year thing. It's literally a future thing here for the Raiders. So coming up, I'm going to be breaking down some of my make or break players for the Raiders, and I have them ranked from 5 all the way down to 1. Speaking of number 1, the number 1 place where you need to get your new workout supplements, it's Panda Supps. And if you've never heard of them before, you're probably new to this channel. But I'm really excited because my guy Murbad's got some brand new premium protein isolate. So listen up here. The all-new Fuel Iso Protein is here in 3 amazing new flavors. Treat yourself to the same delicious, high-quality fuel you're obsessed with now and a faster-absorbing, ultra-lean formula that delivers maximum protein with macro-friendly flavor explosions. Make it a total delight to hit your daily goals. Now, look at these flavors. I'm talking about peanut butter cookies. Dude, Chugs, look at this one. Chocolate brownie whip. Are you kidding me? There's no way this is good for you. Toasted honey graham. Murbad, come on, man. This is unbelievable. We got flavors that slap like it's cheap day with 25 grams of protein, 100% pure whey isolate, 110 to 120 calories, 0 grams of sugar. And for a limited time, when you spend $125, reminder, you got to use that code Raiders at pandasupps.com. We're also going to hook you up with some free creatine and free shipping for U.S. domestic partners. I'll also say this, if you don't want free creatine, personally I think you're crazy, and if you don't want to try out all their protein, it's all good. Other products that I personally love, I love their Sleepy. It works out really well. We're big fans of the Nootropics. It really wakes up your mind. My wife, Alex, is obsessed with the greens. If you're trying to get into the best shape possible this offseason, code Raiders, 20% off, pandasupps.com. Now, I want to hop in a real quick little time machine here. I want to go back to that quote by PFF because I think it's very important to look at what PFF was looking for in the article that they released on their make or break candidates. Every year, players throughout the NFL reach a crossroad in their career and can single-handedly make or break the success of their team's season. So what I did here is I go, all right, who are 5 players on the Las Vegas Raiders that are kind of at that crossroad where we're sitting there going, it's either time to put up or shut up. It's either make or break time. And then you got to think, well, which guys are the most important for the Raiders to have success this upcoming season? Coming in here at number 5, I'm going to go with wide receiver Trey Tucker. And for Tucker, he's entering that 3rd year, and maybe this is a little fantasy football guy in me. Some of you are like, why is there a little fantasy football guy in you? But Trey Tucker is somebody like when you enter that 3rd year as a receiver, you're expected to make that leap. And for Tucker, somebody that was drafted by McDaniel, somebody that was drafted by Ziegler, and then he had to deal with a whole new coaching staff in AP and Telesco. Well, now he's got his 3rd year, 3rd different OC, 3rd different head coach, and there's a lot of moving parts around him. Plus, the Raiders go out, you draft Jack Besh, Dante Thornton Jr., Tommy Millott. Like, going into the draft, if you would have told me that the Silver and Black draft 3 wide receivers, I would have said Trey Tucker's in a lot of trouble. But the good part is this offseason, Tucker had the pressure. Didn't matter, and he's working with the ones, and he's showing you that he can really stretch the field. And with a quarterback like Geno Smith, I really hope that Tucker has I know it's a bold statement, a Tyler Lockett type of season. Let's go to number 4, and this is where I'm going to put Malcolm on this list. I do really think that he is a very critical and important player for the success of the Silver and Black. But at the same time, I can't say that he's more important than the players that I'm about to talk about. No doubt about it. The 2021-2022 seasons, there was a lot of frustration in there, and it's pretty wild that they used the former 3rd-round pick out of Buffalo a little bit more on special teams. He's definitely not somebody that you want to have in the, we'll call it, rushing game. But in a perfect world, if you're telling me he's going out there and he's perfect for 3rd down, he's perfect in those pass rush situations where you could just allow him to be an athlete, let him pin his ears back and get after the quarterback, I do really think that Malcolm Koonce could have a hell of a season this year. Let's go to number 3, and he's Tyree Wilson. And Wilson, I'm reading the quote right now here on Twitter, and it literally says, he is trying to shut everyone up this season. I've had the opportunity to sit down and talk to Wilson. Chugs and I met him at the airport. He's a super nice guy. He is an alien when you look at him in terms of an 86-inch wingspan. Drafted number 7 overall from 2023. And when you think about a type of player that I think you would build on Madden, it looks like Tyree Wilson. But it hasn't quite come to fruition yet. And that 2023 season when he was a rookie was dealing with a foot injury. We'll also, say that he wasn't supposed to play right away, but the whole Chandler Jones situation happens, which, was one of the most confusing situations that we'll ever have. And we'll just leave it like that. But you at least saw a little bit of growth from Wilson and his sophomore season. Well, now it's the third year for him as well, and it's kind of like a prove-it year in terms of a contract year for Tyree. And if he's really trying to put some extra money in his pocket, he's been doing a lot of the right things this offseason. Rob Leonard has spoke very highly of him. But if Tyree Wilson can turn into the player that we were hoping that he was going to be when we drafted him number 7 overall, I'm telling you what, we could have a great defensive line. If Wilson gets it to snap together, I think we could have a top 3 defensive line in the NFL. But you know what? If this guy can put it together coming here at number 2, I legitimately think confidently with a coaching staff like we have with Patrick Graham and one of the best offensive line coaches in the National Football League and Rob Leonard, if Christian Wilkins can prove that he's healthy, and if Christian Wilkins can be the player that the Raiders paid $27 million for last offseason, I think he's the most important player on the defensive line, not named Maxx Crosby. Because what Wilkins does, he makes Malcolm better. He makes Tyree Wilson better. He makes Maxx Crosby better. Because when you're taking on double teams, and even when Wilkins gets those one-on-one opportunities, it just opens up everything for this defensive line. And then when you consider the fact of how important somebody is like Wilkins just to generate that pressure, it's not only on the front 4, it's not only on the front 5. The Silver and Black decided to move on from guys like Trevon Merrick, to not bring back Nate Hobbs, to not bring back Robert Spillane, which is going to put a lot of extra pressure on the linebacker group, on your safeties, and on your cornerbacks. Here's the thing. If you're not able to get pressure with that front 4, with that front 5, I think that this defense is going to struggle this season. With a healthy Christian Wilkins out there, I do really think that that really could make or break that defense. There is not a more important player on the defense, not named Maxx Crosby, than Christian Wilkins. But come on, PFF. You're trying to tell me that Malcolm Koonce is more of a make-or-break player for the Las Vegas Raiders' success than Geno Smith? I get that you might not want to put the obvious answer in here, but Geno Smith is a new quarterback, rejoining his head coach and Pete Carroll, and he is kind of at this make-or-break spot. I get that he got a 3-year extension. I love the deal that they gave him, but there's not a more important player to the Raiders' success than Geno Smith. I mean, I don't want to deal with Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, Jimmy Garoppolo, Jarrett Stidham. Hell, Desmond Ridder are the past few starting quarterbacks that the Las Vegas Raiders had, and if you threw up a little bit in your mouth, wipe it away because you weren't the only one. Geno Smith is going to get an opportunity to show the entire world that he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the National Football League. And when you look at the last 3 seasons, he's one of the most winning quarterbacks in the league. I know people are going to throw out interceptions. People are going to talk about the red zone. You should talk about wins because that's really the only thing that matters when you talk about quarterbacks. And Geno Smith has the 6th most wins in the National Football League over the past 3 seasons with one of the worst offensive lines in the league. There is not a more important player in a critical year than Geno Smith. Hell, I think if we did this video for all teams in the NFL, Geno Smith could be in that top 5. So one more time here, my top 5 make-or-break players for the Las Vegas Raiders in the first year under Pete Carroll and John Spytek. I got Trey Tucker, wide receiver, coming in here at number 5. Malcolm Koonce at 4. Tyree Wilson at 3. Christian Wilkins at 2. As you can tell, a lot of pressure there on that defense, not named Maxx Crosby. But coming in here at number 1, it has to be Geno Smith. And if you disagree with that take, that's totally fine. You made it this far in the video. To me, only my real ones are making it this far in a video in June. I salute you. I appreciate you. And if you do not know, I'm going to be going live every Monday, Friday, Madden Sims, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Tuesday, Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're a real one and you want to let me know you made it this far in the video, give me a real one for life down below.